So looking ahead to the playoffs, we talk to as many different sources for information as we can, and who better than RTE's music, Jimmy McGee.
I can think of a few better, actually. Definitely a few better. And if you're looking for the result, I don't know it.
Well, before Dave, what are your memories of previous playoffs and previous tragic events against France?
Not necessarily always tragic. Just remember when we were in the World Cup in 1990 and 1994, France weren't there. So, we had one up on them there, and even England weren't there in 94, and it was great the way the British people got behind us in terms of the team. Now, they would, because all the players were playing in their league, but you know what I mean?
Same way we'd get behind England if they were there and we weren't.
Of course, that's what happens all the time. We know that, like it did the last time round. No, I mean, on this time round it might happen as well, because they're there, no problem, even though they did lose that last one, that made no difference, because they'd already got all the points they needed. No, this time round, I mean, like 1990 and 1994, the two I remember, obviously, like, you couldn't not remember every single detail about all of those things. In particular, I've met a bunch of people who spent all their life savings going to either Italy or going to America, and not one of them regrets that they did that. It was just great. One of the things is, though, the army on the move in America, and this is the bit I don't like about following the Irish team, you miss the World Cup. All you see is the Irish matches, especially in America, where they have no interest in it anyway. So you didn't see the other matches. That's too high a price for me to pay. I don't want to do that. I want to see every single match, and that's why I try and watch them all live, and that's why I'm more interested in the World Cup than even Ireland's progress in the World Cup, or not. Which is a terrible thing to say. Now, the bonus, the cream, would be that Ireland gets through. I was in Anfield in 1995 when Patrick Kluivert got 2 goals against us, the last Jack Charlton match, which was 2-0 for Holland, and we had a previous, if I remember rightly, Holland booting out once we got into the last 16 once, when Packy Bonner let the thing go under his arms, and we lost 2-0 in that one too. It was Holland, wasn't it?
That was 94, yeah.
And it was 95, then I was there for the Euro 2006. But I'll just say one thing, which is, like, I know damning with faint praise and it sounds really bad, but here goes. In 2004, Greece won Euro 2004. Anything is possible. They had about 3 1-0s. They had a 1-0 in the final. It was pathetic. They were useless. Now, I'm not trying to say, therefore, we're going to win, but I'm just saying anything is possible. And I'm not just going to say it's 11 guys against 11 guys or whatever. But, gut instinct, we're not going to do it.
Well, the other omen is, like, when Ireland is in recession or there's no money around, we always qualify for the World Cup, so people aren't getting their new kitchens, as you made.
If that's the case, then, in terms of Ireland right now, we've won the World Cup. For God's sake, this is worse than anything we've ever had before. No, I don't know. I mean, it would be just fantastic. You know, one of the reasons why it's so good? Because, as you know, every single time you get into a World Cup final, every single team is decided by December of the previous year. So there's 6 months for every country to go completely mad, you know. Like, everybody knew the name of every player in 1990 even before they played. Like, even every Tom, Dick and Harry did. Because, like, hi, my name is Tony Cascarino and I'm something. You can be on your way to Italy, and all these kind of Ryanair things and Aer Lingus things. And it was just one big party, and when it came along, it just got 10 times bigger. And then the famous, don't even mention it, do you call it O'Leary's call it the goal, do you call it Packy Bonner's Day of the Ability, call it whatever you like, that moment that is on every single time, even if it's the wrong year on Reeling in the Years, they still show it, and why not? The point being that if we could just get that again, just one more time, I would absolutely love it if we got through to the finals. Do I think we will again, gut instinct? Don't think so.
Well, all those World Cup moments, they're all like, where were you when JFK was shot? Where were you when Packy made the save and stuff like that? People
do call it Packy made the save, don't they? Sometimes you used to think of, like, when the last penalty was scored too. You should maybe call it that. But no, Packy making the save is fine, because that's the one that got us through. And remember, we do get through to the last 16. Now, we usually really blow it after that. What was that penalty shootout thing we had the last time? That was the most embarrassing thing ever. I mean, the last time we were in 2002. Awful rubbish. But it's always good to get there. And, like, I mean, the first match happens, and then more people come on board. Then the whole Ole brigade come out, and all the guys in the kind of in the submarine bar give out. You don't really follow football. Shut up. This isn't football. This is life. It's much bigger than football. And that's why I like the way it just gets really huge. And I just think that this time round, again, to go back to what's happening, if we could just get through. Can you imagine January, February, March, April, May and June in the build-up? And then even if we lose the first match, which, by the way, like, remember in 94, 11 and a half minutes in Houghton's goal, oh, for God's sake. I was down in the RDS for that one. They had these things in the RDS. It's really sad what happens. Okay, you don't go to the match in America, so they had this thing down in the RDS. But they have a football pitch. I swear to God, an Artane Boys band kind of thing came out at half-time. It was brilliant. And there's these massive big screens around the place, and just drinking. And when that goal went in of Houghton's, mother of Jesus, and then we held on to the very end, and we beat the team, which, by the way, went on to star in the final and only lost because Roberto Baggio kicked the ball over the bar in the penalty shootout with Brazil. So, I mean, like, it was absolutely astonishing to be there, and just, it was great.
And as you're a fan of the whole World Cup, you still want Ireland to get there instead of France. It's not like you don't look at it as going, gee, that's like the Saw Doctors playing a gig instead of Air.
No, wait a second. No, give me a break here. Like, are you saying, do I wish to be France? Like, you think I'm doing a dumpy on it and saying, I'm up for, who was it again, the South Africa, Cameroon. Yeah, I think give me a break here, lads, No, something like that. Obviously, I want Ireland to get there. And nothing is impossible. And if Jack Charlton found a way saying, we mightn't be as technically good as such and such, we'll do the Route 1 thing, or the Gary Owen, or whatever you want to call it, it worked. And every time we did get there, remember, we did get into the last 16, didn't we? The 3 times, 90, 94 and 2002. I think we did.
Last 8 in 90,
yeah,
wasn't it?
Actually, I was there and I went to that match. I have a fantastic story about that I can't really give the full details. But I went to the final match when Scalacci scored the goal, when we lost 1-0. And I was with you too, and it was just the funniest business. Bono going to the loo at one stage was the best bit of all. He just sitting there, and your man takes out a little torch and goes up the steps like this. Like, the whole place is lit, like loo this way, loo this way. It's brilliant. There's loads of other stories about you too there, but anyway, it was very, very good fun.
You were sitting there, my father, because my father came back and told me, and I broke his code. He said, oh, I saw the band. What are they called? The crowd that wear the hats.
That'd be the U2 band. Yeah, they were all there. There was some politician near us as well, whose name I can't remember. John Waters was near us as well. I can't remember who else, but anyway, it was a great laugh, and it was good. It was really like the most exciting thing. The Italians went absolutely crazy, and why wouldn't they? They went through to the next round, and it was in Rome, and it was absolutely huge. It was a really great moment to be there. But as I say, I only went over for that match, and then I came back and watched the rest of the World Cup, and I'd seen the previous. I don't like missing it, and I do believe that those people who went to America missed an awful lot of it, because they just saw the Irish thing. But what a trip that was, the Irish trip in '94.
So when you go, we lose.
Yeah, okay, I'll definitely stay at home then. Look, let's just see what happens. I mean, the first game is at home, so no matter what happens after that Saturday night. Remember about the last Saturday a few weeks ago? It actually, in the end, didn't really make any difference, because, what do you call them? They got the 3-2 win at the end over Cyprus on the Wednesday night anyway, the other crowd, so it didn't really matter. But by the same token, when that ball went in, and for about 4 minutes, it was like, oh my God, we're beating the world champions, and if we win next Wednesday, we're through. Now, we didn't win next Wednesday, we drew, but you know what I mean? Yeah. The possibilities were absolutely huge. So this time again, it's a Saturday night, and it's going to be absolutely amazing. The problem is, of course, that if there's extra time or if there's penalties and that's all going to happen over there. Yeah. It's all going to happen in France, which is a bit of a problem,
Thanks very much, Dave.
If we get through, you'll hear whatever you want to hear.